What the most private thing you're willing to admit? One time in 1993 there was a blizzard that swept across the East Coast. We were out of school for at least 3 weeks. This was around the time I discovered masturbation. Anyway, I was stuck inside for 3 weeks and my bedroom door didn't lock, so I couldn't risk it, and I didn't even think about doing it in the shower anymore, as I knew I couldn't handle that kind of guilt again. One day, I got an overwhelming urge and decided to layer up and head out into the wild because I was going insane. I reached the woods behind my house and slid down into a ditch. I already knew what I was about to do and couldn't believe I was actually going through with it. I started making the shape of a woman out of snow on the ground. I gave her some nice curves and some boobs. Well, this was it, my big chance, the moment I was preparing for. I unzipped and got busy. It only took about 30 seconds and that was it. I stood up, zipped my pants and brushed her away as if it never happened. I walked back home and went into my room and just listened to Counting Crows or something. Like I didn't just have *X with a snowman. I am a middle-aged mom who will sneak to Target and buy toys for myself. Like dolls, not collectibles, just toys. I hide them from my husband and just basically look at them when I'm alone. I think it's because I grew up poor and didn't have much, so now that I'm making okay money, I'm spending it on random stuff in secret, and I feel incredibly weird and guilty because of it. I have never felt like a priority to anyone. It would offend my family and friends, I'm sure, but I have seen the way they prioritize other people and I yearn for that so badly in just one person. I often find myself anticipating arguments and then will proceed to spend minutes to hours building a defense case against said hypothetical confrontation, only for the confrontation never to materialize. It's often not even with anyone I already know. It could be a judgmental remark from a complete stranger that I've yet to even meet, but boy, when that day comes, if ever, I'll be prepared to drop knowledge bombs on them that will make them wish they never tried to come at me. Until then, I'll just live in a constant state of stress manufactured by my own brain. I'm a 33 going on 34 virgin who has never kissed or even been on a date. Despite the stereotype, I'm not obese. I don't play video games, nor do I hate women or subscribe to any extreme ideology. I try to take care of myself and I have a professional life where I try to do well, and from what I observed, people like me around. I was just a really lame class clown throughout high school. Then I went to college, which was so close to where I lived I could go there from my parents' house. So there was no incentive for me to move out or develop actual social life. Strict parenting didn't help. I was never invited to parties, whether in high school or college, and did not have friends, just people I hung out with at school. And by the time I entered college I was too embarrassed of my inexperience to even try dating. Why would a woman teach me all the basic stuff? What's in it for her? Asterisk is what I started thinking around the age of 19 and what I kept telling myself for the last 15 years. At some point I just started drifting through life and never stopped. I feel like I can't relate to 99% of people that I meet, interact with, and it's getting worse. Feel like a total alien. I have no goals. We are supposed to figure out who we want to be and what we want from our lives. It's almost an expectation that we have to want something out of life. But I have never wanted to be anything, and I have never wanted to do anything. I have no passions. I don't think I'm depressed though. I've always been this way. I do have a job which is okay, and a family I love, but I'm pretty much just going to keep existing until I don't. I am an extreme overthinker. Like my girlfriend won't open a message of mine for a few hours and I'll be fully in my head thinking of all the bad things that could be happening. Or I'll show up late to work and I'll be terrified that I am going to be fired for the whole day. I never act on those thoughts because I always have that little bit of sanity telling me that I am overthinking, but it's still there and it fucking sucks. fighting through depression for 6 years now after losing my wife during childbirth. I've thoroughly convinced myself, as both daddy and mommy I have said, I am fine, at least 4 million times, until I have stupidly embraced it. All everyone sees on the outside is the strong back and shoulders I have, but nobody sees the pain, hears my inner cries, sees the tears I hide behind my smile, sees the weakness that I really am behind the 15,000 different masks I wear masquerading my weakness as a man for being depressed. The only thing that keeps me alive every day is my daughter. I can't forgive my mom for allowing my stepfather to molest me as a small child. 4 to 9 It went on for years. She ignored it. She doesn't take any responsibility for the struggles I've had to go through because of it. She thinks I'm a failure even though I'm doing really well for myself. All things considered, recovering addict, thanks to hard work, the right partner and lots of education. I have a healthy marriage and *X life, but it was so hard. Harder than it had any right to be. I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive her. I really wonder what my life would have been like. I am fake 90% of the time, especially around friends and at work. I pretend to be happy, funny, silly, and like I'm okay. I am deeply not okay and crave being alone because it's the only time I can take the mask off. I am who I wish I actually was around other people, but it's not real. When I was like 7, I went almost 2 full months strictly pissing in my mom's various houseplants, because she yelled at me for knocking one over, so I got my revenge the best way I could think of at the time. I know deep down that if I stop chasing and putting effort in the relationships I have in my life, they'll quickly fall apart because people never really see me as someone worth being close to. I'm just an afterthought, so I always put 95% of the effort into them just so that I don't end up alone. Oh, also, I've never been in a healthy romantic relationship and have been single 3+ years, so there's that too. When I was little, I would pee in the corner of my room at night when I would wake up. Why? I don't know. I just really didn't want to walk the 3 feet to the bathroom, I guess. Seems like a lot of people here are lonely. So am I. Anyone want to be friends? I know I could use one. I'm not very good, but sometimes I play chess online with my brother. Anyone want to play? Or chat? Or whatever. I had a little family. Me, my fiance, and my 2 kitties. It didn't end up working out. Now I'm alone in the world. I miss having a family so much. I'm an alcoholic and I've been sober for 98 days. Everyone always asks, do you miss it? I say no every time, but I'm only lying to myself. I've missed it for every single one of those 98 days. It's not getting easier. Upside down face, the struggle is real. I live inside my head way more than is healthy. Edited to say, I have depression and anxiety and am an introvert. I basically have an alternate timeline for my own life that I play in my head. It starts right before HS and I kind of fix all of my bad life decisions. Confused face. Edit 2. Wow, I rarely have a comment get this much attention. I can't reply to everyone, but I'm really glad I'm not alone in this. I just want to leave my life behind and start over somewhere, not telling my friends and family anything, just leave. I don't own a gun, not because I'm against it, but because I don't trust myself to not shoot myself. I love to go shooting with friends and I am a rather good long-distance shot. They all ask why I don't bite the bullet and buy a gun of my own. I pay for ammo, and I just say costs. But the truth is, while I'm not suicidal, I just don't trust myself at 3 a.m. when I wake up crying. I'm 32 and have no idea what I'm doing in my life. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and watch more Reddit Snake. Hiss.